My wife refuses to let my daughter move in with us because according to her she is not family. So I told her that my daughter is a priority and the door is open. My daughter Anna is 16 years old. Anna's mother and I were never together as a couple because it was a one-night stand. But we have maintained friendly and healthy co-parenting since she was born and have become good friends. My daughter has been living on another continent for a few years with her mother and stepfather. But she wants to return because she feels uncomfortable there and misses her family and friends. Anna doesn't know their language well, and it's still hard for her to learn it fully, so she feels lonely there since it is different to speak your native language than to make friends by speaking a foreign language from zero. I spoke with my daughter's mother, and we thought it was a good idea to let Anna live with me. Her room is now my home office, but I can easily put together a room for her again. We didn't confirm anything. I talked to my wife about it first, and I was sure she would be okay with that because we discussed that possibility before. The problem is that my wife doesn't want that to happen. My wife and Anna have never been close because they only met in person for our wedding when I could pay for a ticket for my daughter to come. But they do tend to talk a little bit when I make video calls with Anna every day, but not too much. Anna also talks to her brother, who likes her a lot, even if they just see each other in video calls. My wife says Anna will feel uncomfortable in a house with strangers, and I told her we are her family. She said no. She and our toddler are not Anna's family because they barely know her in person. It hurts me that she thinks that way, but I understand her point of view, although our toddler is Anna's brother, and it annoyed me that she said that because our little one loves his sister even if they just see each other online. I argued with my wife about it, and I told her that my daughter will always come first of all because it's true. For me, my children will always come before any other person. And she knew very well about my daughter when we married. My wife got angry and said that bringing Anna home would change how we handle ourselves and that she doesn't want to be a stepmother. She said that Anna lived with her mother on another continent, so it's not the same as having her right here every day. I told her that no one was asking her to be a stepmother because I would be the one who would take care of her as always, but that if she didn't respect my daughter's presence in the house and hated it that much, then she had all the freedom to go to a hotel room. I was a big idiot because those words ended badly, and we had a worse argument. My daughter has every right to live in my house, but my wife doesn't want that. I love my wife, but my biggest focus is giving my children the best, and I would love to have my princess here after years. My wife hasn't been talking to me at all, and she's very angry, but she does continue with the same stance that she doesn't want Anna here at all, and I know I will get angry, and we will end up arguing again because I'm not going to leave my daughter alone either. Update: I don't think it was right to say that to the woman I love. Even though I was angry, I apologized to her for what I said, the way I said it, but I told her that I don't like it when she ignores me and gives me the cold shoulder when I try to talk about our issues, and the fact that she denied the familiarity between our son and daughter was just cruel. She apologized for it and said she was angry and said things she regret. I made it clear to her that Anna was coming because no one could forbid any of my children from living with me. Not only morally, but legally, I was obligated to give my daughter and son a house. She tried to argue, but I asked her how she would feel if we divorced, and my new girlfriend refused to let our son live with me just because she didn't sign up for it. I asked her if she would appreciate a man who abandons his children for a woman more than a man who cares about his children, and if she would feel confident knowing that she is married to a man who abandons his children that easily. My wife said no, that she knows how much I care about our children and hates the kind of men who abandon their kids, that she knew she wanted to have a child with me because she saw how even though my daughter was so far away I made video calls to her every day. We always help each other with things around the house. Then I asked her why she rejected the idea of my daughter being here, and she admitted to being jealous of Anna, which I had noticed in the past. For example, for one of my daughter's birthdays, I sent money to her mother to buy her a dress that was quite expensive, and my wife just said, "I guess you will buy our son something just as expensive." It was my mistake to let those comments pass and think they were just a weird joke. She said that she didn't want my daughter to come and that it took time away from our son. That bothered me, so I told her that if we had 2 children, my time would also be divided and that I could give the same attention to both as a father. Changing our routine doesn't have to be negative. She knows Anna is not a problem teenager. We talked a lot, and I explained to her that I just wanted to make everything work for both of us. I apologized if I made her feel bad about how I treated her. I told her I wanted to hear what was bothering her so we could understand each other better. We agreed to have better dialogue and communication about this. My wife admitted that her jealousy is wrong and feels embarrassed about it, but it's how she feels, and she feels awful for feeling like that. I told her that feeling wasn't right. Being jealous of my daughter wasn't right. I told her that it would be okay to start going to the psychologist if we want to fix this because I'm not going to leave my daughter to live in a place where she doesn't feel loved. My wife accepted after talking about it a lot these days, and she wants to work on herself about that because she doesn't like feeling like that about a little girl and knows it's wrong. My wife and daughter always had a nice treatment. When I make video calls with Anna, my wife usually talks a little, but not that much. My mistake was not offering my wife to make video calls alone with Anna like Anna does with my toddler sometimes. My daughter likes my wife and calls her auntie even if they don't know each other too well, so I don't want her to know how my wife feels about her. I offered to teach my wife how to play the same video game I play with my daughter so they could play together and get to know each other better. I know Anna would love that. They both have a lot of the same interests. She accepted and said she loved me and wanted to try it for me and our toddler. If I left my wife, I would be breaking into my son's house. He's my baby, too, and the last thing I want is to let adult matters affect him. I don't want to do that. And I love this woman. I want this to work, and I will do my part for it. But the first moment she treats my daughter badly, I will end things with her. I clarified that to her, and she was right about that and promised me to work on this. I still haven't confirmed anything with Anna's mother about the date our daughter can come since I must fix the room for her first. I want my wife and little girl to get to know each other better. I talked about it with my psychologist, who told me that the best thing is always to get them closer little by little before Anna comes to live here. These last 4 days, my wife and Anna have been talking longer, and I told Anna that we could teach my wife how to play with us. Anna felt comfortable talking with my wife, and they started talking about random things, which I fell out of because I didn't understand what they talked about. Still, I'm pretty glad to see that they have things to talk about. Update: My daughter and my wife's relationship is going very well. They both make video calls to watch some series they like together. They have even started to have inside jokes that I don't understand, but I think that's something good, although, to be honest, now I feel a little left out. My wife has been going to the psychologist to work on her insecurities and problems because she knows that feeling jealous of my daughter is not good at all. A few weeks ago, she talked to my daughter about her feelings towards her and apologized. My daughter was quite surprised to learn that my wife felt this way, but she accepted the apology and told her she understood. I left them talking alone that day so they would have privacy, and after that, they would have a closer bond. My wife said my daughter told her she would always respect someone sincere and wants to be better. My wife started to talk about how she wanted to decorate the bedroom and rejected all my ideas because they were too boring for a girl. So she's having fun redecorating the room with our toddler, who's happy to see his sister in person. We still haven't arranged a date because my daughter's mother has to talk with her high school about the problems there and everything. And I have to prepare everything here too, but all is going well step by step.